What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Market pretty range bound today, only to finish with a really strong close. In this video, I want to talk about what is being released on Thursday, what analysts and investors are expecting, how the market might react. I also want to talk about AMC closing strong over 10% today. We're going to go over everything. Let's get right into it. First off, as you can see, all four indices closing green with the small caps leading. Now, this is just ahead the latest CPI numbers that are going to be released. Now, the expectations, I think, for the year are in line, wanting to get inflation down to 5.8%. It is currently at 7%. I do think that 0.8% in 2023 is a little low, especially because the last time Jerome Powell had spoke, he said if he were to go back in December and redo his numbers, inflation would actually be worse than reported. Now, some of the expectations for quarter one are to bring it down from 7% to 6.2%. Now, normally you would see if the numbers were higher than previously reported, the market would pop. And that is because investors had thought that the Fed was going to continue the easy money policy. Now you might see an inverse reaction. Okay, if the inflation is actually worse than that 7%, if it is at 7.5 or even 8%, you're going to see the market most likely pull back, as now there is even more confirmation and affirmation that the Fed really needs to raise rates to combat that inflation. So just think about that going forward into Thursday, and tomorrow is Wednesday. So I'm glad I'm talking about this the day before, as naturally the market just slows down a little bit. Volume is a little bit less. So keep that in mind going forward. Now, if we take a look at the overall market, first off, I will mention this is a range bound market. A couple of the key levels I talk about with everybody inside the group is take a look at the previous day's highs and lows. I pointed this out on pre-market, and as you can see, we bounced off of this. We broke below a little bit on the 5-minute candle, but we really couldn't hold. Went all the way back up to test up that high. It was beautiful. We played some puts right off this level, this 451 level, and brought it all the way down, which was a nice play. Just a little advice, and keep that in mind going forward. Always look at the previous day's highs and lows. If we do zoom out to the yearly, I mentioned to everybody that we're almost might be in this W formation. If you saw that video, and there was plenty of times that the SPY had done that W formation, and we did get that relief bounce after seeing that 430, 425 to 430 level just soaked up so nicely, bounced all the way off the 50-day moving average. Now we've kind of formed a little bit of consolidation. All right, it does look like we are going to retest that 100-day moving average, which is about the 454 level, 454.20 level. We might see a little bit of resistance going into it, but it is hard to look at some of these technicals, especially because we do have the CPI numbers coming out, and that is going to really dictate how the movement for the next few weeks is. So just keep that in mind. But let's get to AMC. Now, I will be the first one to say when AMC was popping up today, we're going to look at this one-day chart. When it was popping up, we saw that nice rip getting up almost to the $17 level and that hard pullback. Thought to myself, once again, AMC does make some nice intraday moves, especially bouncing all the way up that 1462 level. That was a nice charge and push that we had, but it wasn't going to be able to hold those levels. It was nice to see the market kind of turn around going forward. I will point this out from a daily perspective, okay? If we go all the way back here, all right, to when it had that movement back up in March and we got to that $14, $15 level, it almost formed a bull flag coming into this, and we began to finally break through that, getting into that late May and June run up. It does look like that $15 level might be that line in the sand. If you zoom in here a little bit more so you guys can see this, you can see this straight line of support that we're really hanging on to. All right, now if we did kind of bounce up here as they had, this was the day that AMC had put out their preliminary results that obviously they're just preliminaries. It didn't hang on to it. Plus the market was pulling back a little bit throughout this last few weeks. Okay, if we do get a break over that $18 level, it will be a sign of a reversal. Not saying we're going to get some massive action, but at least a sign of a reversal getting back up to this previous level of support, which would most likely act as a resistance. that 2088 level. All right, so just seeing some bullish flow and momentum coming into this. I was watching some of the options chain on AMC, and it was good to see a little bit of momentum coming, heavier momentum coming back into the call slide. And as you can see today, the volume was good. Like I said, AMC just really held that level going forward. All right, so just a little update, guys. That is going to be it for this video. Expect the volume to be a little bit slower. If you are interested in learning more about key levels, continue to watch. I'm going to put out more videos about understanding levels and how these charts move. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.